Hey everyone, welcome to game one here of our semifinals of KSL number 24. And in the bottom right, in the red, he's playing for Dragon Kites Gaming. It's the Protoss player, it's hero. And in the upper left, in the blue, in this historic matchup for Shopify Rebellion, it's ByuN. And there was a time when ByuN versus any Protoss player, actually this is probably still true, but there was a time when it was ByuN and any Protoss player, and I'd get really excited because, you know, it's ByuN, he's awesome. And there was a time when I would say that, you know, I think ByuN versus Classic is my favorite matchup that we get out of Korea. It's always insane. Classic is so good at finding leads, and ByuN is so good at taking those leads and dashing them against the rocks and making it not happen. But in the last year or so, last 6 months maybe, it really does feel like ByuN and hero have kind of taken that category. Classic's playing a lot better, and don't get me wrong, Classic is playing very well. His run at Gamers 8, his run at ESL Yanshiping, he's been playing very well. But seeing ByuN, something about it, hero's aggression, ByuN's aggression, it works out. It gives us some awesome games. So the fact that we get the semifinals again here just makes me really, really excited. But for now, nothing crazy. ByuN loves his proxies in TVZ. He loves that 2 barracks on the low ground, all those shenanigans. But this is a different matchup, and it looks like for the most part, we're not going to get that crazy shenanigans. We're not going to see ByuN put a barracks on the map, 2 barracks on the map, something like that. Not in our first game. We have room, right? This is a best of 3. You can do things. There's room for other shenanigans. But for now, it's a Reaper across the map for ByuN. And that is gonna be the story, I guess, for right now. But hero, this probe, no pylon going down. So it seems like for the moment, hero's just getting ready for the rescout. He did commit to that zealot, or excuse me, no, he didn't. That's an adept. So of course he will have that adept. Just to deny the Reaper scout. It's not going to be able to get all that much done. The Reaper shouldn't, but on the flip side, you can't really go in and put your adepts on the map if you are worried about that Reaper. So you don't send the probe back home. The Reaper probably kills it anyways. Instead, park it in the corner of the map. Say, okay, you know what? I'm going to send it in at 250, 3 minutes, something like that. See what ByuN has. See what his command center timing is. See if there's a bunker on the low ground, which is, I think hero. Yeah, hero did see that. Okay, so that's the big scout. Or that's really what you're looking for more than anything else, to say, okay, he gets the KDA charge. Now there's a scout into the main base here. ByuN, you get that 3 out of every 10 times or something, but ByuN finds it right now, and now, you know, full scout of the main. He's not really going to see a lot of tech. That's really in the natural. But what it does say is, okay, double gas, not all that surprising. And, you know, the lack of a scout is more than is a scout in and of itself. It says, yeah, you know what? Hero's not tried to hide anything super crazy. He's, you know, playing somewhat of a standard style. And Italian into the natural is going to say, yep, okay, Stargate, that's the play. And, you know, the Adept's ran onto the other side, so there's not a lot of anti-light damage. It's going to take Oracle energy to really deal with this. So that's a little bit less harass power. Although, to be fair, we talk about Oracle openers. Oracles don't do a lot of damage to SCVs. It takes 3 damage instances. They takes a little bit of time, but hero has plans, and I'm excited to see what those plans are. So for now, the Oracle into the main. There's a Cyclone here. I mean, you're not going to get a lot done. But the Gateway and the Blink on the way, getting this Phoenix as well. Did he get the Phoenix? No, okay, he canceled that, but just with Blink on the way here as well, 2 additional gateways going up to a grand total of 4. This is 4-gate Blink out of a Stargate opener, which is not the Oracle into Blink is fairly standard. It was the build that was expected to dominate the meta last Katowice, not the most recent one. Of course, Young stem build timing said nuts to that, but that was the idea. But this 4-gate Blink, this is a lot more committed than we normally see, and it might catch ByuN off guard. Blink is so much later in this build that he has gone for compared to kind of another build, more standard, maybe just a Blink open or something like that. So between the additional gateway and everything else, this may catch ByuN off guard, but he's already got his stim on the way. He's adding Marauders into his composition pretty early here. So he actually, I mean, he's also going to want to go for that stim timing. And the way this is going to work out, though, because ByuN's going to be ready to go in about a minute and a half, 7 minutes, something around there. Hero is going to have this timing where ByuN doesn't have tanks. He really, there's no tech lab on this factory. The stalker value that Hero is theoretically going to be able to get out of this army is actually really nice. Meanwhile, Raven auto turret on the other side gets a couple workers, which is obnoxious. It's 4 probes going down, and that actually puts a lot of imperative on Hero here, but he's going to find his way into the main. Combat shields, that's going to be the first target here, and that one will fall. And remember, stim's not done. So these stalkers, they can fight a lot better than they might otherwise be able to do. So 5 SCVs fall down is in the natural. Adepts getting even more here. So first hit, 8 SCVs, combat shields. And actually really more damage in the natural continues to happen. But it feels like this is a good first start for Hero. But it feels like he does want more, and he's got about 20 seconds until stim is done. So maybe he can jump on top of that one. For now, we're going to see the bunker go down. Target fire down there on the stasis trap, and that's not going to find much of anything. So Hero has to back up. For the moment here, I get another warp in of stalkers. Maybe a probe up behind this. Maybe transition. He has gotten enough to equalize, but he hasn't put himself in a massive lead. Not really. He's still... Concussive shells and combat shields are still going to be done at roughly the same time. ByuN is still going to have this 7:30 odd timing. And now with stim done here, the stalkers have to be so careful when they blink on the high ground. We can see a couple of them just getting caught and dying because Hero doesn't have it on cooldown until right now. So stalkers try to rotate to the natural. And of course, there are enough here. They can kill SCVs. They can get more damage done. And they will. They're going to get a couple more SCVs. So now Hero really leaning into his economic advantage here. He's 59 workers to 46. He has this tempo. He has these stalkers on the map, and behind that, 5 more gateways. Charge. Not +1 just yet, but the forge. Finding himself into that position where he's gonna be able to get it. But ByuN stims on top of the stalkers here, tries to get as many as he can, and with concussive shells done, he's gonna get a couple. But this army is very stimmed, and it's not big enough to run across the map, I don't think. It's good enough to shove Hero back for the moment, but reinforcements will be a problem. So for now, Hero thinks about it. Yeah, it's a dead stalker. And this Oracle is it's micro there, Hero. It's going to get shut down, and between the cycle and the end of the Marines, that is going to be that. Can ByuN move now? I love this from Hero, actually. He loses the Oracle. He loses that high ground vision. He loses that map control. And instead of, saying that's fine, I'm okay with that, he gets a Phoenix. And he might actually choose to get more here. Given the style that ByuN is playing, I mean, he's going up to 5 racks. He does have his third base done, but it's 5 racks before orbital, 5 racks before the third base is on position. Getting those extra Phoenix just to shut down drops, to make it so that this charge lot army is just hard to run from, is a really nice idea for ByuN, or for Hero. But as ByuN gets ready to take his third, Hero, he's got the 4th. And it would be nice to see him tech up a little bit. And he's adding the Robo in now, which is something. But there is certainly a timing. Even as I'm talking about how, adding the Phoenix is kind of nice. It makes it hard to run away from this army. There is a timing that ByuN's going to have with his significant army supply lead he has, with his upgrade lead. He's going to be up 2 upgrades. There is a timing as these ghosts start to hit the field where he can just run across the map and maybe beat this army down. So for now, he's taking the fight here. Hero thinks he can get something, but he thought about the Cyclone, didn't get it. Thought about getting Marauders, really didn't get much. Got some Marines, that's just about it. ByuN is taking really nice trades ever since he got slowed down just a little bit. And this timing that ByuN's going to have, sitting up 100 army supply maybe, with this 1-1, with ghosts on the field, it feels doable, but Hero's prepping for it. He's prepping for the counterattack, and he doesn't want ByuN. He doesn't want ByuN to... Actually, he does want ByuN to move out. He wants ByuN to move out, and then he's going to sweep into the main base and the third at the same time. But for now, ByuN's not biting. He's got his 4th base on the way. He understands that just how aggressively greedy Hero's decided to play is the Widowmines. Big shots there on the Stalkers. Now into the main. He's got 3 medevacs. He should be able to deal with this thing for the most part. And the swing into the third, well, it's going to cancel this 4th base. I don't think that's going to stay alive. But with the SCV pulling with the ghost and everything else. ByuN should be able to take this fight now. Phoenix, they're making this a little bit more complicated into the main base. Warp Prism will go down eventually. Zealots are all dead. And on into the third as well. ByuN just gets everything. He targets it all down. Cost of 18 SCV, sure, fine. But he's up 60 army supply now. This army count that he has is just so much more powerful. And hero's going to lose even more. He's going to lose the Zealots in the middle of the map. They're going to get knocked down. It's just Phoenix. It's just Phoenix on the map. 4 Zealots are going to warp in, and hero desperately now. He warps in Zealots. He cannot allow this army to run across the map, but ByuN, he's not going to bite. His reinforcements are going to be more than enough. +1 armor gets denied. Massive pylon shutdown here as well, so additional gateways aren't going to be able to fire, and hero's dead. ByuN withstands the pressure. He withstands the aggression. He doesn't allow it to find its way in. And ByuN, he takes game 1. And now we find our way into game number 2 here. Down 1 in the upper right in the red. Looking to send us to game number 3. It's hero. And in the bottom left in the blue, up a game. Bending, not breaking. It's ByuN. And I feel like that's just a solid description of how ByuN plays this game of StarCraft most of the time. Not always. Sometimes he's the aggressor, and sometimes he's the one that's forcing his opponent to be the one that breaks, or ideally breaks. Maybe bends. I don't know. But in that game, that was just him withstanding pressure. Hero went Oracle into 4-gate blink, and he got damage done. He killed, I think, like 10, 12 SCVs. He delayed combat shields. I think he could have gone back for stim, but he didn't. At the end of the day, though, you know, he delayed ByuN's timing. He made life hard for ByuN, and ByuN just withstood, got his 1-1 timing, decided to play macro, took his 3rd base, got the 4th base up, and, well, at that point, hero was stuck in a mid-game army as ByuN got into Ghost and got good upgrades and built that army supply. And that's actually the big deal. Hero got a lot of economic damage done. He got a lot of tempo killed. But what he didn't do was kill ByuN's army. That was, for the most part, untouched. So ByuN continued to, yeah, he lost workers, but his army supply continued to grow, and Hero traded army for economy to the point where when ByuN, you know, took that final fight, when Hero really took that final fight, ByuN was up about 20 army supply. That's a big deal. 20 army supply is a lot of army supply. It makes a big difference. Especially when you're up 2 upgrades and you have Ghost hitting the field and you have kind of forewarning of where everything's going to be. Because ByuN did, he saw the Warp Prism going into the main, he saw the Stalkers at the 3rd, he saw the Zealots running in. He knew of everything that was happening. So now we're into game 2, and it's going to be interesting to see what Hero decides to go for. This time there's no probe on the map. This time there's no early probe scout. He's not, you know, going for a rescout. He is really kind of maximally greedy. What this also means is that, well, the Reaper is going to be able to harass a little bit. It's not going to kill anything, but certainly can be annoying. The other thing we got to point out here is this is a double stalker opening coming out of Hero, which means likely no Stargate. We see the Twilight on the way. But also, this is a early game army that can maybe have a little bit more pressure. It's not uncommon to see Hero in particular take his first 2-3 units and rally them across the map and really start to just try to put a little pressure on, make it hard for ByuN, make him uncomfortable even before you have blink or charge or a robo or whatever it is, you know, whatever unit or structure or upgrade that kind of unlocks the way that Hero wants to play. He's totally fine getting on the map and getting aggressive even before then. So for now, the Reaper jumps up into the main, sees, well, actually, did it see the Twilight? It did, and I think it saw the Chrono as well. So, well, actually, did it? No, didn't see the Chrono. So ByuN is now aware. Okay, blink. Yeah, fine. Order of the day. What he doesn't know is that there's a robo on the way. And that's actually a big difference. We saw 4-gate blink out of Hero in game number 1. And that was, you know, 4-gate blink, the 4th gate on the map there, just maximum pressure. Maximum pressure possible. This game is going to be a little bit more middle of the road. Yeah, you know what? There's going to be, I think it's actually only 2 gateways this time. So yeah, there's going to be 2 gateways. You maybe add a 3rd one later. But the robo means that for the most part, Hero is committing, is that Reaper will fall, is committing to the mid game. Yeah, you know, if this was 4-gate Robo, yeah, fine. That's a thing. And that's when you go and you get a Warp Prism. But seeing the gateway count is low, we should see a Robo Bay go down very quickly here. And here we're just kind of playing a 2-base Blink opening. A 2-base 2-gate. Get into Colossus as quick as you can and really go from there. But for now, ByuN. Widowmines on the map here. Wants to get a little damage done early on, you know, before the game truly gets started. So ideally he'd be pairing it with something. He'd be harassing on the right side of the base as well. But as it stands, hero taking a slightly slower 4th base than, you know, the greediest one possible, but still well timed. And behind this, you know, I talked about how this was going to be a Colossus opening. You know, 2-gate Robo is kind of what you think of with that, but there's the Templar Archives on the way. Additional gateways charged. This is going to be a Charge Lot Storm type of build. And hero is definitely a player that has been playing with Storm Drops. He's like the only player that has kind of been consistently Storm Dropping his opponents. And it's awesome if it works. If it doesn't, you know, it's rough. It's not going to work out. But if it does, it sparks pretty tremendous joy. So scan goes down, sees the really not a lot. Double gas Robo. I mean, if you scan this natural, you kind of think this is a Colossus build. That's just going to be the expectation. So here we're doing a great job of playing with that, playing with this idea that ByuN is doing something that ByuN is absolutely not doing. So Storm, a third of the way done, and I feel like these are going to be Storm drops here. Although with where this Warp Prism is rallied, maybe not. Beside Templar in the main. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this should be Storm drops here, and this just sparks so much joy. This makes me so happy. We don't get to see this nearly enough. So Storm, 2/3 of the way done. These High Templar are gonna have 1 or 2 Storms apiece. 3rd base done. More High Templar getting warped in just for that actual main army setup, but it's all gonna be about these High Templars in this Warp Prism at the start. So Side Storm done in 10. ByuN Raven on the right side, Medevac on the left side here. Army pushing through the middle. He wants to stress Hero in the same way, but Hero's gonna catch the army thinking about it. Is he gonna drop on? I think he's maybe waiting for a stim so he can just really kill everything. But for now, Hero, you got to pay attention here, friend. There is so much pressure that's about to hit you. So into the natural probes. Are they going to pull in time right now? Drop the Widowmines. There we go. ByuN Hero pull is ready. In time. Splits are going to be just barely good enough. Last second. It's damage on the Zealots, but that's still scary. Meanwhile, on the right side here, tank push with the Marines as well. But the Storms are going to go so massive, and it's going to kill every single Marine. With the Zealots here on the backside with the Immortal as well. This army is just, it's not going to work out here. Storm to clean everything up. ByuN loses everything at the front. Now Raven auto turret into the natural. I mean, gonna get a couple more, but there's a shield battery here that's mitigating some of the damage. And at the end of the day, 3-4 workers will go down. 6 workers and a dead army. ByuN might just be dead here. He's got 1 Raven, which is, you know, the energy's been spent. He's got a couple Widowmines. This army that Hero has built for himself is just, it feels insurmountable, especially with the Storms on top of everything. You can't repair the bunker. The SCVs will just die. So Storms on top of everything right there. And they just melt. At this point, even if Hero doesn't break the natural, I think ByuN's kind of dead anyways. The economic damage that he's taken at this point is just massive. And now with the Archons here as well, Zealots on the hiker on these Widowmines, they won't get more than a single shot. And this should do it here. Yeah, you know, there is this triple Widowmine drop. It kills 11 probes. Hero doesn't care. Hero cares not. ByuN falls down to the Storms. And Hero, he takes game 2. We're going to a 3rd and final. And now it's 1 more for all the marbles here. Well, not quite all the marbles. You have to win the finals. But to get to the finals, this is it. The upper right in the red for Dragon Kites of Gaming. One final time. It's Hero. And the bottom left in the blue. Fallen victim to Storms. ByuN. And you know, I talked about how often these players play, how good their series tends to be. And this has been a solid series. I mean, not earth-shattering, but very good. And it's worth to point out just how often these players run into each other. ByuN and Hero have played 99 actually. They've played 99 series in Legacy of the Void. I don't know why the win chance is 0, mean score is 0. Something broke on a Legulac, but something broke on the query. They've played each other a lot, and they're, you know, certainly a hero is. I don't know that he's the best Protoss in career right now. Actually, I think that's a fair statement. I think hero's great. I think last year was absolutely his year. The first Protoss to win a GSL in 7 years. You know, he had a shot at winning another. He top 4 at Katowice. Really incredible year. But I think right now it's got to be Classic. Classic, of course, taking down Raynor and Cyril and who else? A bunch of like the most not the most incredible run, because Oliveira taking down Raynor, Maru, and hero on his way to a Katowice trophy was probably one of the craziest single runs we're ever gonna see. But it was up there. Classic's run at Gamers 8 was really was crazy solid. It was very good, even if he lost in the playoffs. I mean, he certainly made it deeper than hero did. So I'm willing to say right now, and I know Legulac's gonna disagree with me. I know those of you in the comments are definitely gonna disagree with me, but I'm willing to say that Classic is the best Protoss player in career right now. It's by a slim margin. Hero is still very good, but based on the eye test, based on the results, I think it's got to be Classic. And considering, you know, I've spent the last year and a half now just talking about how good hero is, that feels weird, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. And, you know, it's hard to complain because Classic's playing some good StarCraft, but this game's about hero. So we're going to have to see what he decides to go for. Again, it's going to be a blank opener. Again, we're going to see just how many gateways he opts to go for is the big thing. And ByuN, again, pretty standard. It's a 1-1-1 opening. We're going to have Widowmine drops on the way fairly quickly, most likely. And it's a question of really about when he gets a tech lab on the barracks, when he gets his second and third, or second barracks, really. Is this going to be 6-minute stim? Is it going to be 7 minutes? How aggressive does he have to go for? How much aggression does he have to go for? Because realistically, this is altitude. You know, this is a long map. This is a map that it is kind of hard to just go balls to the wall, 7 minutes, 6-minute type of timing. This might even be a game where we see ByuN kind of stay 1-1-1 a little bit and take a quicker third. I mean, it's weird. Generally, you really want, as a Terran player, they feel like their economy, without getting damage done to the Protoss, is just doesn't scale well enough due to Chrono, even with the fact, by the way, that, you know, they get mules, and mules are really good. Terran players do tend to feel like they have to get some sort of damage done, or they need to play, they need to start their third base at like 2:30 and just really get going. But for now, yeah, I'm thinking about that Widowmine drop, and I realize that he's figured out. So Stalkers warp in, ByuN scooches, runs away. He'd like to get damage done now, but it's only 2 Widowmines. It's not that committed. He can park this in a corner and wait and hit with a bigger push later on or something. But for now, the Ravens are out. Tanks are on the way, and we got our second barracks done. Pretty quickly, we're going to have that third one going down here as well. So, ByuN, stim's going to get started right around that 5-minute mark, which means that yes, he is going to go for that quicker stim. Well, I assume he's got the money for it. He's got to start it. There we go. Stim on the way. So, ByuN, stim started right around that 5-minute mark. It means that it's going to be done right around 6:30, right around there, which is going to give him that early push timing, which, again, we talked about how altitude is one of the longest maps in the pool. It certainly is a map that it's harder for a Terran to push on. This is one of the reasons why Protoss really do like this map. But hero, he's going for the same idea we saw in game number 2. He caught ByuN off guard with the stim, or with the storm, and it worked out. I mean, he killed the army. He ran across the map and killed ByuN with storm. And we're going to see him try to do it here again as the Warp Prism's done. Charge halfway done. Templar Archive's just about complete, and storm should get started up pretty quickly. So hero is, you know, he's getting ready for this. He's going to have High Templar getting energy. He's going to have those storms. And against what ByuN is doing, now, granted, if you go for this 3-1-1 type of setup with this quick stim, one of the things we see players, Terran players do is they will go for that quick third. Because they because you play a little greedy early, and because you delay that, well, sorry, you don't delay anything. Misspoke. Because, you know, you're not going for the big sledgehammer 730 timing. You're not committing quite as hard. You can get that third base just a little bit faster. Your army's just not going to be quite as big. But it's kind of funny if you think about it, that the earlier timing is less committed than the later timing. That feels a little bit weird to say. Is Zealots now into the main base, so this is not going to be Storm Drop. It's just going to be box standard harassment a little bit. It's going to get a couple workers, but more importantly, it tells ByuN exactly what's happening in this game. He's not necessarily going to know that there's Storm, but he will know that this is a charge lot opening, and there is the scout. So stims forward just a little bit, gets a High Templar. Not going to get a second. I mean, shield battery is nice, but ByuN, he knows what he's dealing with now. He knows that Storm is going to be done. He knows exactly how afraid he has to be, and backing up, I think that is the proper play. You don't have Ghosts in the field. You don't have enough Widow Mines for this. Buy time. Get yourself to the next stage attack. Get yourself to a point where you can deal with the High Templar instead of just having to hope that your splits are good enough, because for right now, well, the Warp Prism at home is just being obnoxious. And hero wants to hit this timing again. He's got Storm. He's got a Warp Prism right here. He's roughly equivalent on army supply. So we're going to have to... The big difference, though, as we talk about whether he can break or not, there is a high ground ramp. It's a lot harder, but the Stalkers are going to blink on top of the tank. They're going to get one of them. That's a massive anti-armor missile. He's going to shut down the Warp Prism as well. So ByuN, these storms are so much easier to dodge right now. They're so much easier. But hero wants to keep going, and now the Warp Prism available once again. It's lacking some shields, but it can warp in. That's the big deal. Even still, though, there's a bunker on the high ground. This one Viking just being obnoxious. Ideally, it's going to be for the Warp Prism. Getting the Observer is a pretty solid option here, but now the bunker's going to go down, and ByuN stims just a little bit. Dodges the storms pretty well to start, but they do take damage. And now we got one storm left in this army. So I think hero's going to have to back up. He's seems like he's going to go forward once again, though. He's going to get these. He's going to get the Widow Mines. That much is certain, as this Observer now will fall due to the scan of the Viking. And ByuN feels just a little bit comfortable to run down onto the low ground. It seems like we got one or two storms remaining in this army. There's the first one. Second one, if it's there, it's just about ready. And there we go. One more energy. Storm's ready. And these are a lot of damaged Marines. Very, very injured Marines here. But now you run the Ghost forward. There's room for an EMP. There's room now for ByuN to just have the counter that he needs. Runs the Ghost forward, thinks about it, but not quite forward there enough. Marauder goes forward. Oh, that's a big EMP. One storm remains. One storm remains here. No more energy for EMPs, though. And hero continues to press forward. This army is so low. ByuN, that storm whiffs, though. The storm is not good now, and the Warp Prism will fall here as well. This is ByuN's opportunity. His army's going to get better over time now. Widow Mine does not go off. Stalkers blink around it. And now the Zealots, they run forward. SCVs are going to get pulled. Vikings here as well. This is ByuN's timing. He's going to have to make it happen right here. Medivacs get boosted forward just for the healing. And that is oh so very important. And now ByuN, up on upgrades, up on everything, up on army supply, is going to smash this army right on through. The Immortals, yeah, they're not so immortal anymore. 14 workers fall. ByuN kills the army, withstands the damage, and behind this, he's still only down 3 workers. Hero cut workers to make this happen. These Widow Mines, they get a lot of the Stalkers here as well. So now hero is not a good spot. Hero is in a rough spot right now. He's got Zealots on the left side, desperately finding room for ByuN to run across the map. But ByuN, he understood the one thing that held him back in game number 1 when he won that game was the run by. So yeah, just don't even worry about it. Keep a couple units back home. And the other side, this 4th base is destined to fail. Zealots come filtering in, but I mean, what you gonna do? Now Storm is not great. Not good enough here. Now the Warp Prism goes down. I think there was High Templar in it as well, so double plus on good. 4th base will fall, and now ByuN's got the rally. He's at 50 army supply. This is dicey for hero right now. He's adding in disruptors. That's a big deal. Adding the disruptors, I mean, Disruptors on the field, you can always make a comeback. We had disruptors, but they're just not enough of them. It's only 2. ByuN, his splits are very good. He's going to dive on top. 1 disruptor falls. Even as this army is fairly overstimmed, he's going to get the disruptor. And second one shoots his shot. Third one here, ready. Fourth one starting to join the fray. So we're starting to get that to that point where the disruptor count is scary. It is hard for ByuN to deal with, but just stem on top with the EMPs as well. Gets another, gets a third, and that is all the splash damage done here. This has got to be it. ByuN runs forward. More zealots are going to warp in, but the immortal will fall eventually. Yeah, shield battery overcharge is nice, but the Widow Mines, they don't care about that. They're going to knock everything down anyways. And the rest of the Widow Mines here are going to be more than enough. This army runs forward. ByuN, 73 army supply to 7. And ByuN is going to find his way into the finals to run into Dark here in KSL 24. And of course, if you like this, you want more StarCraft like this, I'm sorry there haven't been a ton of uploads recently. I've been busy and Baldur's Gate kind of owned my life, but we're going to be restarting that soon. StarCraft VODs every single day of the week. Good games, great games. You should drop a sub and let me know who the best Protoss player in the world is. Is it hero? Is it classic? Is it Max Packs? Let me know.